Right, boys, Fabia's got another issue today. It's never ended at this point. You can't hear it when I first drove it in, which I thought you might be able to, but pretty much the rear brake on the offside driver's side on the rear is grinding. So today we're going to be changing them out for some new ones so we can actually stop again. Because at the moment it's pretty scary stopping, and there's only been like it for a few days since I've got the parts. So let's get her on the air, get the wheels off, and then we'll look at how bad the damage is. Hopefully the caliper's all right. Right, that is both the rear, can't speak, both the rear wheels off now. One thing you always want to remember to do when you're doing brakes, mine's buried, is down here, you've got your brake fluid reservoir. You just want to take the cap off that, because when it comes to pushing your brake piston back in the caliper, if you've got that cap on still, you're going to be fighting the pressure in the system, so it's just going to give you a whole load of grief. So whip that off, and now we'll whip off all the brakes, put the new ones on. Fingers crossed, all goes well.
In the world just to see a smile. If they try to give me life, who gon' be there to raise my child? Yeah, I'm viral, I ain't Fabia, my gun go bow. If it's static on the club, we fighting the whole crowd. You can get into my section, niggas not allowed. Lovers that ain't get to see this shit, I gotta make them proud. Say you want beef, go and eat a cow. Heard I made it, got them mad, now they asking how. Married to the money, but I never got to say my vows. Son, when I come around, I take a head up out the clouds. I can see why I'm going, too much money in the way. She ain't loyal, kick her out, but I want her to stay. If I gotta walk them out, nothing gon' keep me away.
Oh, dearie me. They have gone down quick. Would you look at that? They're pretty cooked. That was been wearing unevenly. Slightly. Not on camera. Focus. So they're about the same size as a new one. That one is only about half worn. That one, obviously, by the looks of it, is pretty cooked. And that's a new one. So, as you can see, that one's got meat, that one ain't. That's nothing. That's literally the backing plate now. So, we'll swap that out. Get the disc off real quick. Which I need a little screwdriver for. As you can see, that disc is cooked as well. So we'll get the little retainer screw out there. Wash. Right, let's smack that disc off and hopefully that disc carry. Yeah, look at that. Straight off. Cool. She is not a happy bunny. Right, so we're going to clean that up, clean this up. We've got new things to go on them. Push that piston back. Just shove these in there. Somehow. So we'll be careful not to bend it. There we go, we got them in there, something like that. So then we'll grease these up nicely, push back the piston, grease this bit up, and then Bob's your uncle. Pretty much what we're doing here is we've got a wind back tool. So these pins sit in these little grooves there. If it wants to go in there, wind that back on itself, so it's pushing against it, and then literally just wind that in. All this is doing is pushing back the caliper. Because it's working off a handbrake, you've got to wind them back rather than just pushing them. And it'll just keep going, and then eventually it'll just stop. And that's that there. And then just bring it back a little. Then you can bring that bit off, and then push. Your caliper's been pushed back. So now we'll clean off our new disc with some brake cleaner. Chuck it all back together. There we go. Then just find your hole to line this up with, which is where? There? Yeah. Shove your screw back in, like so. Apologies if I sound rough, I have been ill as hell for the past, like, week. And then just check, your brake ain't sat, your disc ain't sat, not flush in a way. Because sometimes you can have it where, for whatever reason, you might put it back on, and then your brake's just sitting out slightly at one point, so you'll spin it, and then it might lock in here. It doesn't usually happen if you do it properly, but it can. Just always check, go the extra mile, and you won't be falling back with yourself, is what I think. So then, new pads, grease these bad boys up. Again, check sometimes they're meant to be caliper side, and some are meant to be outside. New ones on. Bosh, that's one. And number 2. There we go. Nice bit of fresh meat on them puppies. And then these bits have to sit flat, so they're against the caliper in here, which can be a bit fiddly, especially if they're loose like these ones are. Because then you've also got to have these lined up as well.
I can see why I'm going, too much money in the way. She ain't low, kick her out, but I want her to stay. If I gotta walk a mile, nothing gon' keep me away. In your city, run around, making money in your state. You're moving too fast, I said wait. We don't feel the same, so we gotta take a break. What if I get rejected when I go to heaven gates? I feel like a god by the way that I create. How you tryna fuck this the first time you met me? Always wanna hold me, I'ma need a jet ski. You can kick it with me, do I look like Jet Li? Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve. How you tryna fuck this the first time you met me? All this water on me, I'ma need a jet ski. Can't kick it, do I look like Jet Li?
And just make sure they're nice and tight, because you don't want these coming loose, I'll tell you that. Beautiful. That's all working nicely. The only thing is you've got to remember is obviously when you do your brakes, they've got to have time to bed in. So they might not be as good as you think they're going to be straight off the bat. But just give them 100 miles or so, they should be right as rain. But I'm just going to smash out this side. Another thing you want to do, when you've got your new disc, because the part suppliers don't always like sending you the right ones all the time, is just check them to make sure they're exactly the same. So as you chuck them on like that, chuck them on like that. But I'd say they're the same to me. But, well, that one's just a lot more one.
Need a jet ski, can't kick it, do I look like Jet Li? Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve. Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve. Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve.
Boys, we've got our first problem. So on this one, as you've seen on the other side, if you push that down, nothing happens. If I push this one down, there's a hole in it. And all the grease is coming out. So I'm gonna have to go find another one of those. Just bear with me and I'll go see if I've got one. Right, well, we haven't got any. So there's always something. So we're just gonna have to grease it up enough so it has a bit of resistance to don't come out, but it's not gonna really hold it. But we'll get some on order and then we'll slap it in. It'll only take 2 seconds. So I'm gonna have to do that at some point in the next week.
Go to heaven gates, I feel like a god by the way that I create. How you tryna fuck this the first time you met me? Always wanna hold me, I'ma need a jet ski. You can kick it with me, do I look like Jet Li? Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve. How you tryna fuck this the first time you met me? Always wanna hold me, I'ma need a jet ski. Can't kick it, do I look like Jet Li? Playing with my heart. my pet peeve. Playing with my heart, I swear that's my pet peeve.
Hey, little baby tryna mix it all, tell her break it down. I ain't learn like them other niggas, all them niggas clown. Everybody wanna fuck with you until they see you down. All those sisters see me drippin' and they hope a nigga drown. If you down, 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 I'll keep you around. I tell her hold up, hey little baby bad, so I know she tryna pull up. Hopping out the jack, then I'm switching to the Rover. Shorty used to be sober, now she mixing the fifth in the soda. Henny in the cup, but she sippin' it soda. So much designer, thought I was a fauna. You on my circle, but not in my corner. Kick it like judo, so she low when I sing to her like Bruno. And she fell in love with the numero uno. She said I'm a dog like Cujo. Hop inside a cool, no physique like a bottle. Man, I really want her, I don't know if she a rider. Pulling up in a roll, suicidal. Shorty picture perfect, she a model. Stash in the trunk, but
How you tryna fuck this the first time you met me? All this water on me, I might need a jet ski. You can kick it with me, do I look like Jet Li? Playing with my heart, I swear
That cap's back on, wheels are back on. The only other thing I can say is, remember to pump your brakes as you go down the road, because otherwise, did I say before you go down the road? I don't know. So before you go down the road, pump your brake pedal, because otherwise you'll go down the road and you won't have any brakes because you haven't pumped the pedal out. Other than that, that's all done. So we'll take her out for a spin, make sure she's alright. Get on. Here we go, boys. It is the next day. I am stupid and forgot to film the clips. She's all working properly, all done. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next one.